rivals round, and you're off to Perpignan.
Good old rivals, Catalan.
What do you make of the rivals round concept?
I like it. You just need a rival. So, yeah, it's good. It's good.
You've obviously only just nicely been over there.
Yeah.
You weren't too far off, if we're honest. 8-point margin of defeat. What lessons did you learn from that game that can help you get on the other side of the result this time?
Well, obviously, having a little bit more belief sometimes, I think, goes a long way. So yeah, a little bit more courage in our convictions at times, and usual thing that's probably been hitting us a little bit in the last few weeks would be completion. So again, that probably combines with what I just said. So complete a little bit higher and have a bit more confidence that we're quite capable of sitting in an arm wrestle for longer periods, rather than having to rush and panic and score at every opportunity. Certainly from last week against Leeds, we made enough line breaks, in particular in that first half, and created enough opportunities that with a little bit more patience and, like I said, confidence that we can sit in an arm wrestle, you get a better outcome. So, but we're having a dig. So if we have a dig this time, then you give yourself an opportunity. But we expect Catalan to be a lot better as well. So the task will get tougher, not easier.
I know it's been well documented how much disruption there's been in the team. Is that one of the? Is that the obvious factor for the number of errors you have been making, or does it not really excuse it? It
obviously contributes because you've not repped out with the same people week in, week out for a full pre-season, so you're not on the same page in that respect. So things are going to have to keep simple. There's probably also a little bit of the consequence to not doing your job in the manner that you normally would is probably a lot lesser now because our squad's been stripped bare. So it's the environment in itself is a little bit different in that respect. So the pressure that the group would put upon itself is probably changed somewhat.
I've purposely tried to ask some rugby related questions.
Yeah.
To talk about that, and to go on to some of the obvious stuff that we have to ask you every week. Where are we at with the squad this week? Any good news? Any bad news? Anything different?
Well, we've got a couple of loan players available, and Tiaki's back after his concussion protocol. So it's never going to be easy all year. It's going to be a long one, that's for sure. But we'll be there, and we'll have 17 players.
You said a couple. Just talk us through where you're at in terms of additions. I think the club announced Jake Fulis yesterday. Is the scope for more to come through the doors, or?
Harvey Makin's with us as well. I don't even know if we've announced that or not. But so Harry's given me a thumbs up there in my peripheral. So we've got Harvey Makin and Jake Fulis who both play at the weekend. So two young men. To join the other, they've got a young team now, so which is different. But as I said to the lads, and I continuously said to this group, everybody's an individual on a very unique and individual journey. So we'll facilitate that for them, and if we bring them individual efforts together, because we need one another to do anything and to achieve anything, then we'll give ourselves a good opportunity in whatever we do. So what I'll say is, I think every lad that's come and joined us this year, I can't speak highly enough of the character in particular, and their efforts and their ability as well. So, if this becomes a stepping stone for them on their career, or if they end up being here longer, whichever route that it takes, be a privilege to be a part of their journeys. So I'm enjoying all the company at the minute. It's been great.
On the loan front, obviously you've delved into the loan market a little bit. Are you going to get any help from the clubs in terms of loan players? B, any help governance-wise on loans? Because correct me if I'm wrong, the rules are you can have, is it 5 or 6 loans in a match day squad, is that right?
I think it's 6, so we can't have any more now. But our narrative was to get rid of players and bring loan players in. So we can't possibly get rid of any players either if we can't bring anybody else in. Otherwise, we won't be able to fulfil fixtures if that's the case. We've got an academy set up and a reserve set up that was purposely stripped bare in the reserves to a really low number, I think 10, 12 players that we would top up with academy, because we wanted to sacrifice results and concentrate on having that first step on the ladder of developing youngsters and creating a true pathway, rather than just bring seasoned amateurs in to try and win some fixtures. We wanted it to be there for the exact reasons that it's meant to be, and so they're not ready to step up. Certainly the academy players, it wouldn't be, coming straight out of amateur and being part of no pathway other than this, a couple of months ago, would be really reckless to expose them to that. So we're getting crunched, that is for sure.
Any scope of, I don't know if you've asked this question to the RFL, of dispensations on additional loan players given the rather exceptional circumstances you're under? The
initial response yesterday was no, we've never done that before, so it's a no. But I don't think anyone's had the situation like this before, so we'll keep asking that same question, but it's a solid no as we speak.
Just on that, it's no secret that there's still some clubs after your players, and there's been talk of player exchanges. I don't know if they'd be permanent or loans, but if they want you to get players out, not being able to take more on loan would actually make things harder on that front, it looks to me from the outside.
Well, because you've got a bit of logic there, Matt. I think you're applying some logic and common sense, and it's not harder, it's impossible. So, but yeah, it's just it's challenging, but we sometimes quite enjoy the challenge. So we'll see where we get.
Just on a few little bits like that, Dion Cross didn't play last week. There's obviously been a lot of reports we're seeing. Is there any movement, update, info you can provide there on what the current position is with Dion?
Not really. Not seen him since after team run. So I would have loved him to turn up and put his hand up for this week, but I'm not sure what the state of play is with that one. So you'd have to ask Chris.
As far as you're aware, he's still a Salford player and not a Saints player.
Oh, he's a Salford player. Yeah, he's a Salford player. So we have no intention of giving away our assets that we've got signed up for next year as well. So he's a Salford player.
I think that does everything for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Rowley, you're right. I'm not sure BBC are in just to record, so I'll go if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm not sure if you got a chance to watch Ryan's episode on the bench this week. It was obviously a wide-ranging conversation. Within that, he sort of detailed a phone call with you, him asking how you are. Just what does that say about Ryan, that in the situation he finds himself, the squad find himself, he's taken the time to sort of make sure you're okay?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. So, I speak to Ryan all the time, so as I do most of my players. But yeah, it's a reflection of the group. That's what the group do. We've got a good group. So, but nobody needs to ask me if I'm all right. I'm totally fine.
How have you managed this situation? I know you talked before about sort of mental blocks of April and now it's mid-May, but how do you cope day to day?
You're asking me how do I cope doing the job that I love, working with a load of lads that are great, turning up to work and then having a day off and finishing early and playing about on a grass field in the sunshine. If life's that bad, mate, then it's a good life.
Yeah, I think you mentioned, was it a visit to the homeless charity the other week, obviously?
No. I'm an ambassador for Greater Manchester Mayor's Charity, so I went to the gala dinner and listened to some stories from certain people who've experienced homelessness, and And like any walk of life, when you've experienced anything that's difficult and challenging, you can approach it in a few different ways, can't you? So you know, it's not that tough.
On to sort of more rugby related matters. In terms of sort of Ryan, then, how far off is he in terms of his hamstring injury?
Ryan will be available this week.
And just to check, was it Jamie Pye that failed his HIA?
No, nobody failed their HIA the weekend.
Okay. And just lastly from me then, I think it was sort of confirmed that Nene is going to go back to Australia for the birth of his child. Is there any time frame on when you expect him to be back with you guys in the country, etc., after he's sort of been home?
I think that discussion's been had with Chris, so you'd have to ask him. I'm unaware of the detail of that.
No problem, Rolls. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks, mate.
Paul, you okay?
Hiya, mate.
Just talking about Chris. Obviously, we saw his interview on Sky on before the game on Thursday. And I think it came with quite a bit of sympathy from the public for that. What's your relationship been like with him?
I've known Chris many years, so my relationship's very good. We're friends. We played together in the same team at Lee, so our relationship's a very good, long-standing relationship.
How do you believe he's doing? Obviously, he's doing the very best he can, I'm sure, in what is like for everybody else a very difficult job.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tough and challenging for everybody at this club, and so I think everybody's having a dig.
Cheers. All the best for the weekend.
Thanks, mate.
Sam, have you got anything, or are we all good?
Yeah, I was just going to ask a quick one about Jaden Nicarima, actually. I think, I'm not sure, you probably will have seen it, but the commentary last week was very favourable about the way he plays, sort of saying it was like that sort of backyard football, like he was trying to make things happen. But the analysis was actually a lot harsher. They kind of labelled him irresponsible in terms of putting the ball down, etc. When you're up against the odds as you are at the moment, what's your instructive to Jaden? Are you happy for him to play that style, or would you prefer him to be a bit more disciplined?
Well, I don't know. I got that sounded like a contradiction. You said the commentary. And who analysed it when you said
I think the commentary was, I can't remember if it was either Barry or Terry, and I think
it's Barry against Leeds. Are you talking about?
Yeah, and I think it might have been John Wilkin on punditry, sort of saying afterwards that he's maybe got more of a responsibility to look after the team. So obviously got a lot of young lads, and he was potentially inviting pressure when making mistakes. So obviously there was a contradiction from Sky themselves. Yeah. I just want to see what your view, what your directive to him as a player is.
Well, we've got a structure in place, obviously, that everybody plays within, and then you've got some choices within any structure on which play and how you execute that play. It's very hard when different personnel have different abilities. So Jaden will be used to one player running a particular line or being in a position that we would expect them to be in. So it's more of a learning for Jaden, I think, and always understanding. I guess we always have if you're asking me what my directive is to him, is his best plays his running play, because he's got speed. So if all goes wrong, just keep running is a clear directive that I would always give to Jaden.
Yeah, and just you mentioned before about Dion Cross that you've not seen him since team run. Does that mean, have you had sessions since as the club and he's not partaken?
We had a game and he didn't partake, and we've got today's session and he's not been here either. So that's that.
Right, okay, cool. Thanks very much and best of luck in France.
Thanks, mate.